What's going on YouTube? My name is Marcus, aka Apostle, and today I am bringing you another Spellbreak gameplay. This time we are going to be talking about how to win with Frostborn. What we're going to be running today as our talents are Harmony, because if you are on your Alacrity trail and someone hits it with wind or stone, you end up frozen by it, and that's not good. So I feel like Harmony is basically a must. I'm going to be running Scavenging because we're playing solos and the extra lifesteal is really good. And then I'm actually going to switch over to Recovery because Recovery is just really good in pub matches. I run Thirsty in scrims because usually if you run into a really good player, you're going to get popped before your Recovery does a whole lot of anything. So sometimes Thirsty tends to be better, but the majority of the time, if you're just playing pubs, I recommend going with Recovery. I'm gonna switch my gauntlet to my left hand because I'm a left-handed Frost player, and then if you mess with any of your settings, I don't know if you guys know this, chat. If you mess with any of your settings, it resets them all to Ultra, and it doesn't tell you. So if you mess with any of your settings after you changed your video settings, you might want to go reset it to Ultra and reset it back down. There's a bunch of people at Bogmore. I just love dropping Bogmore for the loot. You want to be careful landing with Frost out of the gate because you basically get one fully charged Frost shot with a white Frost and no amulet. So you're pretty useless. What you can do if somebody lands on you is actually pop your sorcery and freeze them out of the gate. And that can help a little bit with your escape. I recommend going for the loot and then popping your sorcery, because if you just try to pop your sorcery, they're gonna beat you to the loot, and if they have Harmony, then you're kinda out of luck there. We're just gonna try to loot up, get some stuff. There's a lot of people here. I'm gonna turn down the music just a tiny bit. There you go. Try to be careful. Don't want to get sniped in the back. I'm still not confident with my loot. I'm gonna run this Toxic Gauntlet, which is actually my favorite Frost build. I think it's my favorite build in the game, actually, is Frost with Toxic. It's essentially a shoddy sniper build. Obviously Toxic being the shoddy and Frost being the sniper. And it's a really fast-paced, high engagement build. I like this Shadow Step that I have, but I'm going to run the Dash just because it's a better rarity. And I kind of need the extra rune charges to dodge since I don't have a good belt. It's nice. I got to be careful here. If anybody's up there, I'm in a really bad spot. This game's just feeding me purple Toxics. Can't get a belt, but I can get 11 purple Toxics, so that's cool. I'm gonna try to take the high ground, just kind of spot some people out. I don't have Icicle, which is your level 2 ability. There we go, we got a better Frost. It's your level 2 ability, which allows you to float in the air, but also highlights targets, which is pretty good for just surveying the area. I'm not too worried about scrolls right now. I'd like to get these kills, so I'm gonna keep this high ground. This guy doesn't realize I'm here. Maybe I'll hit a shot eventually. He's gonna Feather Fall, which is really bad against Frost. You don't want to do that because you're giving up all your cover. My aim is absolutely atrocious, but I'm using this window to kind of peek, see how I'm not showing myself, and then I peek out and then shoot him. I'm gonna push because I'm pretty sure he's low, and that's why he's running. I tried to freeze him in my Toxic Cloud there. That's called a Pokeball. If you throw somebody in, if you get somebody in your Toxic Cloud and then you shoot it with Frost or freeze it with your Harmony, it'll actually turn into a mist and slow them until they're frozen, which is a really good both offensive and defensive maneuver. It keeps people off you, it negates their damage, and you can oftentimes, if somebody hops on you while you're popping your sorcery, you can hit them 2, maybe even if you're really lucky, 3 times before they're frozen, because the slow doesn't get broken, right, until they're actually frozen. So while they're being slowed, they can do almost nothing, and you can just hit them a couple times really easy. This guy's got Fortitude, which is bad for Frost, so I'm just gonna Garden, just throw my Toxic from long. I want this kill, so I'm gonna try to push. I'll play for the win more, so I'll actually go for this guy in the back, since he seems to be the bigger threat at this point. He didn't realize I was there. He's got double Shadow Step. He just burned all of his charges. And I'm just gonna try to stay on top of him with my Toxic. I whiffed a lot of shots there, but it worked out. So I wanted to focus the lightning player because if you're getting focused by a lightning stone player and you're not paying attention to them, they're just going to really pop you. Also, the stone is going to break your ice trail while you're trying to run away or run towards them, which since I'm running Harmony, it won't freeze me, but it'll still really slow me down. I'm going to take this Shadow Step since a lot of people like to run Shadow Step and kind of show you how I like to use it. So what I like to do with it is I'll be running, say I'm running at somebody, and then I will Shadow Step up and then use my Icicle to float for a second, light up the shot, and kill them. Because usually when you Shadow Step, unless they're a really good player, they're going to have a hard time keeping track of you, and it'll give you that extra second or two to line up your shot. Basically, always use your ice trail whenever you can. It gets you a lot further than you normally would, obviously, because you're moving so much faster. You can also use it off of high ground. I mean, you could use it not off high ground too, but off of high ground, you can sorcery cancel like that, which will keep your momentum. That wasn't a full momentum kept there, but if you sorcery cancel, you just pull out your sorcery and then click your primary attack to do something like that, and it'll help give you that extra mobility and momentum. This guy's really heavily pushing me. See how I Shadow Stepped in the air and he just completely lost me. So that gets people off you. I'm going to let this guy kind of jump on me. I'm popping my sorcery. See, I froze him. Got a free 2 shots off. Shadow Step out. He hit me. Gonna pop a pot while he is popping his Vital Stone. And then just kind of keep the pressure on him. He probably should have tried to run away with his Vital, honestly, but for some reason he decided to stay and fight. You can usually get off a small pot while they're vitaling. I think if you have Thirsty, you can get off a big pot if you pop it like right away, but it's kind of a stretch. So Frost is actually really good for high kill gameplays, this build in particular, because it's so bursty. So you can use Frost to kind of take the high ground and then use your Icicle here. I ran out of mana. Here to kind of scout around, look for people, and then it'll highlight them. So it's easier to find people with Frost, and then once you find people, you can use your Alacrity to get across the map really fast. So we see a guy out here. We see a couple people out in the distance over there. Gonna kind of push this pretty hard. I don't want to get in the middle of that. There's a lot going on. There's 4 people there, so it's easy if you get in the middle to get focused. See, these guys are kind of in the middle of me. I want to be the guy third partying with Frost. Pop that guy's Vital. This guy's Tempest, which is bad for him because Frost is pretty good anti-air, like that. And then you can just really keep pressure on the Tempest. If you're fighting a Tempest player, you really want to keep the high ground. I mean, in general, you want to keep the high ground because if you can get somebody coming up to you, it's a lot easier to get shots off on them. They have to use abilities or mana to close the distance to actually break the high ground. So see, he has to wind jump, which is actually the best way to retake high ground. But say I'm up on this rock, like look, to get up here, look how much mana, look, I'm out of mana completely. I didn't even make it up. So I have to go here, slow down, free shot, and then get up here to push me if I'm up here. So you gotta be, if you can take the high ground, it's really, really effective because it makes people use their abilities and their cooldowns. Oh, there's an invis guy right here. That's unfortunate. Didn't see him at all until he picked up that. He picked up an item that I was looking at. So I'm just going to disengage really quick here. You can use Frost to really throw people off. What you can actually do is you can go like this, and I'll go over here, watch, and then I'll shoot my trail that way. He's going to think I'm going that way now. So now I'm going to pot up. So I shot my trail. He thinks I'm going to stay on my trail the whole time. Instead, I went the opposite direction, and now I'm going to pot up over this hill. Gives me time. And now I know he most likely went that direction or he stopped. So I'm going to go back to this high ground here. Try to spot him. I know he's invis, so I got to be careful. He's right there. Try to keep the high ground. I lost it. Pop my Harmony because he's right on top of me. It's going to freeze him. And it's also, since I'm level 3, it's going to make me immune during cast. This is really bad for me. He has a lot of recovery. I do as well, but I just got to be really, really careful here because he can essentially come close to one-shotting me. I'm going to try to pop one of these, make him come up the high ground to me, put a little pressure on him, don't let him pot. He picked a really bad spot to pot. He could have gone... He decided to pot right here, which gave me a perfectly clear spot at him when I turned around. He should have made a decision. He should have either decided to stop here and break line of sight and pot, or just completely hard pushed me. So as you saw, I took the high ground, and then once I got it, I turned around because he was in a disadvantageous. Is that a word? I think that's a word. I hope that's a word. He was not in a good spot. So then I turned around and pushed him then. Because I knew if he was going to push me, right, he was going to have to levitate up to me. So it's all about keeping the high ground. That guy up here has a good idea. He's on the peak trying to figure out where everybody is. I took a pop shot. If I wanted to be extra safe, I probably shouldn't have done that. I'm going to kind of back off. I don't know what he's running. I don't have full health. He's running lightning, and he's actually got a guy behind him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot up at the guy behind him to get him to turn around and help me kill this guy in the middle. So basically, if you're fighting multiple people, you never want to be in the middle. That needs to be your priority. So see, I'm staying along the edge of this final zone here. I don't want to push out too much over here. I'm kind of looking for what's a good spot when zone closes in. If I have my back to zone, it means that nobody's going to pinch me through zone, or it's less likely that somebody's going to pinch me through zone, and if they do pinch me, they're most likely going to be low, especially at this point in the game. So flyers are love for Frostborns. They're pretty easy to hit once you get the hang of it, especially if they fly straight. They'll usually tend to just try to fly away, and you hit a cheeky little snipe on them. I'm going to keep this high ground. I just heard someone break invisibility behind me, so I'm actually going to push back. I'm going to give up the high ground because I want to figure out where this guy is. I heard him pop out of invis. He was somewhere over here. There's potions back here. So I want to make sure I have a good amount of potions on me, as many as I can have. Right now I have full recovery, which is really, really good. Still looking around for that invis guy. I don't feel completely comfortable. I'm going to try to third party this, but I don't want to fully engage. Really, you don't want to fully engage until you know you can finish somebody. I see this invis guy here. Hit him. So I know I can finish him, so now I can push. This is a bad spot for me. I'm actually pinched. Going to rotate to the right. That guy got the kill. I don't know if he knew I was there. He's doing a good job breaking line of sight. He's actually invis. A lot of invis players right now. So he might try to push me. He's also might be potting up. I'm going to spray with my toxic right now just to hopefully get a little tick on him. I could possibly break his invis, but it's also going to show me how much health he has, right? Because he's not playing very aggressive, so I'm kind of assuming that he's not full health. But I don't want to commit off of just the assumption yet. There's a guy down there. There's two guys right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this closer guy to the right, keep him pinched in between me and the guy in the back. He completely lost me. I'm going to throw a toxic. He's pinched again. I want to keep my back to this zone a little bit. I know this guy's still over here to my left, so I want to just be careful. Do some damage where I can. It's really hard to pot in these final zones, so I'm not going to fully commit. I'm just going to keep everybody as low as possible and use my frost to my advantage, right? Look, not very many people have shields, so I'm in a pretty good spot. If I can get this guy to actually chase him, that'd be really, really good. This guy's looking for a place to pot. He's invis above me. Don't know where he went. So I stayed on the high ground. He dropped back down. I'm gonna try to pot. I got behind this little cover here. Nobody's really looking at me, so I'm pretty safe to pot there. There's a lot of invis players. So what I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna force this guy off the high ground because The best way to find invis is with your ears, and levitating is really loud. So I'm going to keep this high ground and just keep taking pop shots at people. If I back up, they can't hit me, and then I take a couple steps forward, take a pop shot, and back up again. And really, with Frost, you just want to keep popping in and out, right? I'm pretty sure this guy is down here. Yep. Gonna pop my Frost Sorcery. He can't come through that way, so I know he has to go that way. And finish him off. This guy, for some reason, is on the low ground. Gonna throw that, so he has to push around me. He's up top. Invis again. He's moving a lot. He's making a mistake that I make a lot, where it's... you just move too much, final zone. I do this a lot in scrims where it's like, I kind of panic, and instead of pushing for an advantageous position, I just kind of move around. And he could have pushed me off of here and kept this high ground and killed me, but he didn't. But yeah, that's basically how you play Frost. You want to just play to your advantages. You want to use cover and then peek out from the cover and take pop shots. That's the main thing. You want to use your Alacrity for movement. You can get good at sorcery canceling. Yeah, I think I kind of explained everything you need to know. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I hope you learned something. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to check out the Twitch stream down in the description below. I did this live, so yeah, you can come and check this out, ask questions, do whatever you want to do. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, have a good one. Bye, YouTube. What'd you guys think? Good? What if your aim is bad? Then you just gotta practice. Glad you're blowing up. Thank you. Top tier? Good. Good, good, good. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.